Yo, good morning. How we doing? Put on another mix real quick. Y'all let me know if that's too loud. Well, good morning. Sorry for the little bit of a late start here. I was actually trying to mess around and get Ninja Trader to look good enough for stream, which it's just not working. So maybe we'll have her make a little sneak peek, but hopefully everybody is well. Markets have been pretty quiet overnight, which is which is nice to see, because lately they've been a little poppin'. So we have a little bit of a range built up overnight here. So we're gonna see if there's any opportunities this morning that present themselves from NQES or any of its little, side friends there. We do have a pre-market setup that maybe Pro has called out. It is just some pre-market absorption. I'm not really ecstatic about this. I mean, it's not really happening in a great location. It is just kind of in the middle, right, of a trading range. We can make some cases that there was a little bit of liquidity swept here, and if this does spill over after the open, in hindsight, you know, that could look, I don't know, better. But in the moment, I don't like it. You guys know, these pre-market trades that kind of happen in the middle of a range, not really my type of vibe. I personally just ignore these type of alerts. I would much rather, if we are going to play today, I would be most open for sell side prints if it's gonna reduce this to a 5-minute real quick. If we can maybe get up into 25, 163, you know, there's a little bit of internal liquidity built above these two highs. Again, I'm just gonna pick the highest point of that. I'm not gonna draw a trend line on it, but really just looking upwards in this 25 160 area. I don't know if this considers that a lone candle. Yeah, I wouldn't either. There is a 2-hour lone candle up here apparently, so again, kind of POIs kind of coming together there, which is nice. So yeah, really just looking for above 25 160s if the sell side does want to play out. Again, taking a look at the overnight action, you know, I could see us taking out these lows if we do want to sell off. So I would primarily kind of be looking at that. Again, targets or something on that. Probably this 5-minute lone candle that's down here. Alright, I like the breakdown at 24,750-ish. On the flip side of that, if we take the lows first, again, I wouldn't be opposed to buying either. I'm kind of neutral here. It just really depends on where we play from. So again, I mean, if we do something like this where we slip below here, take out this lone candle, and we get a print in like the 24,900 areas, again, I could be interested in buying activity. Again, it's all just about time of day that it happens, how the setup looks. You know, do we have untaken liquidity to trade towards? So, wouldn't be opposed against that either. Again, if we do not take this 25 116, we spill over first. We run into some issues down here, and we get some nice prints. I could look to trade up into this again on the higher time frames. You know, again, the biggest question that we have really is just like, what is becoming of this? It's like, okay, we moved up pretty aggressively off the ceasefire headlines. I'm gonna do a quick headline check in a little bit, see if, you know, if some of that sentiment from yesterday changed. It looked a little shaky there for the first 24 hours. So we'll see what comes of that. Again, there's still some nice liquidity up at 25,600, 25,700. So again, that's why I don't mind buying. And I also don't mind selling because, again, some of the headlines from yesterday weren't really ceasefire friendly. So I'm gonna real quick before the open, I'm just gonna pop over and take a look at some of that stuff. Yeah, see, we are continuing to break higher here, so like I said, those pre-market trades in these locations are just stuff you just ignore. Sometimes your system flashes a trade in a bad spot. You have to know how to filter that stuff out. We're not robots. Okay, so some of the headlines this morning seem to also be kind of shaky. U.S. sentiment says uneasy ceasefire, talks still expected. Yemen said operations follow a planned strategy that accounts for the conflict's potential duration. Operation will escalate with possible surprise actions. Let me see here. Let me just do some quick searches for Iran. Iran said 45 minutes ago Iran was on the verge of responding to the ceasefire violation last night. but Pakistan intervened. Any peace in the region must include Lebanon. U.S. must stop Israeli attacks on Lebanon. Okay, so it seems like this wasn't resolved. So it seems like this little play fighting back and forth between some of these other countries is still very much an issue, but it does seem like people are willing to talk. Oh my god, dude. Is that the opening bell on Ninja Trader? It must be. How do I turn that off? I'm so sorry, y'all. Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me again. Dude, how do I disable that? Oh my god. I understand why that's a feature. It's not even a bad feature, but like, that's scaring the shit out of me. Alright, well, we got the open here, boys. Let's see what we get. A little bit of some south-side action. Again, I would prefer to play from above 25, 160. If something prints here at the open, it could be good for half risk. Again, we are taking out some of these like pre-market highs. I feel like we could definitely do better than these highs, but we'll see what happens here. Can't see screen. Oh my god, yo. Y'all gotta fucking text me. What am I doing? Y'all are fucking the worst, bro. Ain't nobody wrote in Discord at all? Oh, Nico did a minute ago. Okay. The fact that nobody wrote before that, you guys let me talk for 4 minutes, that's on you. That's, like, tag me, boys. Don't write in the YouTube chat. Anyway. Y'all can see the levels. If you're new to the stream, my bad. If you need me to go over it, write in chat. The rest of y'all got it. Y'all know what you're doing. You're writing like the YouTube chat, like I always have that up. Come on now. That's on me too. That's because you know what it is? It's because I have Ninja Trader open on my other screen, so it's covering OBS. So I had no idea what was going on. Ninja Trader, you're really fucking up the stream today, man. Alright, let me just double check this. You all good? 15-minute Aeon oil. Where's oil? Yeah, oil. I mean, we talked about this yesterday. We were kind of expecting the pullback up here to both the 2-hour lone candle and just above the liquidity. That was some of the trades from yesterday. Again, I said yesterday I didn't like those trades because I would have wanted under the wick. Again, those trades did run to TP, if not near TP. You know, they never really ended up pushing lower from down here. So, again, you know, sometimes your own rules stop you from taking profitable trades. Again, the internet will have you feeling like that's not the best idea. Again, I have no regret about that. Still really choppy. Again, I would have to hold this overnight. Just not in my scope of doing things. However, if you do think that peace talks will continue to develop in a positive manner, that could be some interesting action. Alright, yeah, NQ fading off from that morning push up. It is possible we get some absorption here. Let me just see ES. ES is not really so slow. Yeah, it's possible this prints here. Again, for me, this would be like a half-risk trade if I were to take it. If it does form. This is just like not like an A+ setup for me at all if I was gonna like give it a grade. You would really need the move to 25,760 as well in order to make this worth it. In my opinion. I mean, you could happily take this as a 1 or 2 to these lows. See, this is more than likely gonna print. Again, I'm not a fan. This would be a half risk trade, especially on like an eval. Personal money, I would ignore this. It's maybe a eval trade. Okay, so that's Ninja Trader also letting us know that my indicator printed something. Okay. You know what, boys? I'm gonna close Ninja Trader. Want to save the workspace, I guess. Alright, so you do get an OB plus A here. You did get the double print off the open. Again, I'm not a big fan of this location. So if this is something you're going to scale into and try to take, that's, you know, up to you. I would have definitely reduced my risk. Reasons I do like it, though, again, there is decent liquidity below us. I'm just not a big fan of where we're forming this off of. So personally, I'm going to sit out of this, which is probably why it's going to run right to TP. But again, I'm going to personally choose to sit this one out. I would also half risk the trade. 3-minute prints. Yeah, there was also a 3-minute print you could have ran. Would have already been in profits on that. Slightly. So we're gonna monitor this, see how this plays out. Again, I'm just not a big fan. I mean, ES, I guess ES also didn't print. ES is pushing up. The Dow is also still pushing up. Yeah, I just think we get another chance somewhere else. I could be wrong about that, but I really do think we get a chance above 25,160. I would rather play from 25,160. If that prevents me from playing today, then it is what it is. You know, I want what I want. I will wait for what I want, and if this is the winner, then so be it. Yeah, Nico, you're right. I was definitely very annoyed when I realized. This is what I get for having Ninja Trader open. Again, I've said it before on yesterday's stream, but I would probably encourage people that are trading on desktop to just get more familiar with Ninja Trader. Again, you don't have to primarily move to it. I know how lucrative TradingView is. But if you have a TraderVate account, you can log in. It don't cost you nothing. And the feed is just a little bit better on the execution side. So if you feel like you get bad fills on TradingView or wherever, you'll likely get better fills on Ninja Trader itself. But I will also stand by the fact that the charting experience is just so much better on TradingView. Me and Claude are trying to figure that out. Once I get Ninja Trader to act exactly like TradingView, I'll drop that code. I'll drop that code free for everybody, because honestly, it's so bad that I would just drop that for the community, because I really can't stress how bad the interaction is over there. But I want to like it, man. I want to like it. Actually, I kind of want to open it just to show you guys why I like it. Why I'm trying to like it more. Since these markets are not doing anything executable for us right now. I'm not in this. I'm going to delete that so people don't think I'm personally in it. Well, that does loads real quick. Let me just real quick. Gold. Yeah, we talked about gold a little bit yesterday, how... One second, let me just get this off my screen. On how you probably would fall from some of that 4-hour action up here. Yeah, we talked a little bit about the higher time frame with the engulfing candle, engulfing volume. and that being the retest into it and that kind of selling off. So it's good to see that that kind of played out. For today, that pulled right back to the 30-minute lone candle too. Yeah, I probably wouldn't replay gold unless we got up to that 2-hour lone candle. I mean, like, over here you kind of have, like, some internal equal highs. So I could be most interested in, like, 43, above 43, or 48.35, excuse me. So wipe that lone candle, take out these internal highs, and then you can play from up here, maybe. Again, this would be, like... Again, if we kind of look at it in the macro, I'd always tell you guys, too, like, when something goes to, like, turn around or switch trends, because again this has been trending up, so it's like if you expect a trend shift here, usually you get deeper pullbacks early in that shift. So like if this is going to be a high and a continuation of some of the higher time frame structure, it's like the first move off of that is probably going to get retraced deep, you know, until you actually break out. That's when you get shallow pullback. So it's like this is only one leg. We don't really have any sort of cycle up here. This probably does pull back to like this higher level. Now, if you were in a trending market, yeah, it'd be different. You'd look for a shallower pullback. But yeah, above 48.35 could be interesting. POI on gold. And again, this is kind of just left a lot behind, right? There's really no clean sweep to any of this. Some people will look at this as a clean sweep, but there's a lot left behind. This is all just relative equal lows here. So you probably end up wiping this at some point. Again, after we push 48.35 would be my guess. So alright, ES still starting to climb, still continuing to climb. Again, we're looking for this to print us something up at 68.30, so we still got another 15 points to go. And Q still stuck in its morning range. Seems like a pretty boring day. Let me see. Gold had a 3-minute print last night. I'll take a look at that. Is that something that you played, Jay? I think it's you that likes to play you, right? You're commonly playing gold. Let me see. Absorption here. So there was an OB on this wick fill, which again, like for a short-term scalp, probably not bad. This got knocked at break even though. Maybe somebody partials out of that. I don't know. I just assume that gets hit at break even though. We got some absorption here. So uptick a sell volume at 251. What play did you set? Got hit at break even, so try not to look. Oh, okay, so yeah, you played this. Off the 30-minute wick fill. Yeah, man. I mean, I know looking at it in hindsight. See though, so Jay though, remember what I've told you about these 3 minutes, man. Like I keep saying this about the 3 minutes specifically because the 3 minute really is the time frame that has this biggest issue. And this probably still takes you out, even with me about to rant about this. But I told you guys, like, with the indicator, there's two things you can do. You could either trust the mathematical levels, right, which is a 1.5 R. The break-even, unless you changed it, but the default coded break-even level is 1.5 R. So it's like, yeah, this immediately moved 1.5R, and then come back and got taken out, right? Without that, the way that we would go break even is if it moves away, comes back to your price, and then moves away again, you'd go break even on the break of this. Now, I don't think this would have helped you because this once again came back, and, you know, realistically, this takes you out. Again, maybe by some miracle you had a slightly better entry. I always assume that the entry is a little worse, right? Because most people were, you know, late to the alert. It just makes the most sense. So this probably would have taken you out either which way. It's, yeah, it just sucks. I mean, it just sucks. I mean, this was super choppy. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. It's annoying. One of those you just gotta chalk up to say, you know what? It is what it is. Okay, so again, guys, this is what I told you guys. Well, I don't like trusting these alerts in the middle of the range, right? We have our POI, or waiting on our POI. As far as I'm concerned, this trade hit stop loss. There's some miracle this could hold and be super funny in hindsight, but again, this is what I tell you guys. You know, we don't like to play the middle of the range. We want to play some sort of extreme. And again, it's like you could argue with me all day. Is this internal liquidity? Right? Yes. But we also have internal liquidity up here. I consistently tell you guys, I like to play at the extremes. So either one, the most extreme internal liquidity if there's several, right? Which is like the liquidity pocket almost. Two, I mean, external liquidity is like kind of by definition always extreme. So that's self-explanatory. Or if there's multiple loan candles, I always tell you guys, I pick the furthest loan candle, right? I want to play the furthest. I'm not going to play the first one. The first one's probably not going to work, right? It might give a reaction. But there's two. Again, I'm trying to play the second one. So same thing here. Like, yeah, there is internal liquidity built up here, right? But there's also internal liquidity built up here. And it's like, okay, well, if the people that are playing here are going to get stopped out, they're probably going to get squeezed as we move up into here. Again, maybe I play here and I still lose because it wants to go push the external. That's fine, right? But I'm not going to play the shittiest internal here. So, again, that's my thought process there. And again, even if this by some miracle doesn't stop this out and push down, my opinion on that is not going to change. See, now on NinjaTrader, I'd be able to click this entry and just hide this. And just say, I want to ignore this, and I can just remove just this entry. Which is why, again, I kind of want to move over there just to, again, peace of mind. Just hide this stuff I don't care about. Let me see. Yeah, I was on gold, but I got out before I slept because it was hanging around. There was also a 5-minute. Yeah, I got hit at break even at retest, not from indicate. Okay, yeah, so again, like I said, it's just choppy signal, man. There's nothing we can do about it. The Dow looking pretty strong today. You know what else I gotta find? I gotta find a way to fix this, right? Chat, how many of you does this annoy? Right? Like how the scale gets all thrown out of proportion. Like this annoys me to no end, because like you just can't keep this small. I just can't see any of this. It's just that this annoys me to no end. I gotta find a way to fix, like, to create a volume indicator that just doesn't do this. That I don't know. I don't know. There's gotta be something's gotta be able to be done about this. This is just atrocious. I hate it. I can't, like, this is the one thing I can't stand about volume, dude. It's like when volatility goes crazy, you just, like, there's nothing you can do to fix that, man. I gotta find a solution. There's gotta be like a mathematical way to, like, when it throws the scale out, I don't know, to just like change the color. I don't know. There's gotta be a solution. Me and Claude are gonna figure that out. I can't stand it, dude. I mean, like, even mine does it, right? Okay. For whatever reason, my indicator is broken now. Yeah, we gotta find a solution to that, man. If anybody has ideas, let me know. Alright, NQ. Wow, NQ with another formation, huh? Son of a bitch. Alright, NQ has reprinted here. On the main contract, OBA. Just A here. I'm still not taking this, man. I mean, ES printed now too. And ES sweep of these highs. This actually doesn't look bad at all. As you're gonna get away from me. These might be the ones that work. If these are the ones that work, I'm wrapping my day up. I'm not gonna execute on these. ES looks infinitely better though. I will say that. NQ, I'd still want that 2160, but ES, like, looking at ES, I could probably do without that. Honestly, you know what it is? Because, like, this is already swept. It's like, this is already swept here. And then, like, this is really the only remaining left nice liquidity. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that this ends up, like, working. Actually, I'm not even logged in. Shit, I wish I could paper trade this just to, like, show how I would manage it, but it's too late now. I don't feel like taking this now. I'll probably do this. Yeah, I'm gonna just sit out across the board. I would say this ES signal is not too bad though for people that are interested. Again, I mean, you're taking internal liquidity here. I'm gonna look at this objectively without NQ. So it's like you have swipe, move down, chop, internal liquidity, left liquidity behind here. These prints are also happening post 9:30, so it's not even like it's the open that you're trying to fight. We pushed higher than the open. Yeah, this is pretty clean. I think I'm gonna paper trade this just as an example. I just want to see what the risk would look like on this. Contract wise, if you sold 2 micros here, stop would be 105 bucks. Damn, so you can jack that up to like 6 contracts. Probably squeeze that down to 200 risk too. Yeah, I don't know. I just hopped in that on paper just to see what the risk would be like. Yeah, it's interesting. Six. What would that risk be on standard ES? Perfect. So what's one contract on? 360. Yeah, it's micro superiority because you can't partial out of that. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to see what the risk looked like on that. You might actually get another print here in a second on the 5 minute, so hold on, we might actually end up getting some dual prints here. Okay, so you got the 5 minute print on the micro only. So you didn't get it on the main contract, which is not our favorite, but the 3 minute is on both. Yeah, good luck to those. Good luck to those of you that like it. I mean, shit. Yeah, NASDAQ running. It does not open a chart. Open. Yes. No. Fucking Christ. New chart. Yes. Chart trader. And yes.
Order filled.
Oops.
Order submitted.
Oh
Order
shit.
filled.
There we go. I'm just seeing what execution is like on the Ninja Trader instead.
Order submitted.
How do you change this?
Order filled.
Whoop, no. Oh boy, I have no idea what I'm doing on that platform, man. I'm trying to increase the contract size on a limit order, and I just have no idea how to do it. Alright, let's see, as we're going into 10 a.m. here. NQ pretty hard down. ES refuses to move. Dow still trading up. Gold hanging around. It looks like we're kind of split today on the indexes. Again, NASDAQ still holding down pretty well. ES just sitting at entry price. I'm gonna do a real quick run through of some stocks. Apple falling pretty aggressively. Still like Bull under $5. Still gonna love it a lot more at 3 if I can get 3. Circle down to 89 too. Family, I need to talk about Circle real quick. If you guys missed Circle, I was talking about it below IPO pricing. Please, again, this is like a super long-term hold. I told you guys that my time frame for Circle is like 5-10 years. This is just one I'm constantly DCAing. And I like it again back under 100. So I do like this. Still love it. The thing with Circle is there's a lot of regulatory stuff floating around stable coins right now. I think all of it is just setting stuff like this up for the future. My biggest concern with Circle is how many institutions kind of have their own stable coin. Like you can look into, like Fidelity has their own. And so it's like, I don't know how much of that is going to be powered by or in collaboration with Circle and USDC, but yeah, I'm big on that going into like the 2030s. So again, big fan of Circle. We loved it below the IPO price, and I mean this thing went fucking nuts. Ended up getting a late entry in like the 60s myself, but this went over 100% for us. And again, you know, I didn't scale any out. That's because I'm not really fully in my position yet either. So again, like a 5-year, 6-year, 10-year hold. I'm just saying, Circle has come back below 100 for those of you that are not aware. And again, there's still the risk that Bitcoin goes under its lows, which I know many people are not a giant fan of hearing, but I don't really care if you guys care to hear it. Actually, while this stuff kind of chops around, let's go take a look at Bitcoin real quick. Yeah, Bitcoin back down to 70. Let's turn all this stuff off. So for Bitcoin, I think the most interesting thing for me is that, again, with all the ceasefire, it's like, what did we really do on this? We really didn't do anything. All we did was take out a bunch of internal liquidity up here. And again, like very much like gold, again, like if this doesn't follow through, I'm gonna just run the assumption that, like, again, these lows are its next targets. That we're gonna run that 64k low. I mean, again, like none of these lows, for me, are like long-term lows. Now, yes, I like Bitcoin, but in between this range, and yes, my DCA is on because I'm not an idiot, right? I want to accumulate this long-term. I told you guys 69k. I was very vocal about that for a very long time when it was above 100. So yes, I do have my accumulations on here, and yes, I bought all throughout this range on a week-to-week basis. However, again, I do still expect this to push lower. So it's like, again, maybe that drags Circle down, maybe it does all that. Again, I'm just in long-term DCA mode on stuff that has got hammered like this. I've seen the same thing that people say about things like Microsoft. Again, I know some people are like looking at Microsoft as like a good buy. Again, I'm still not a big fan of things like Microsoft above like 308. You know, am I crazy for expecting another 16% lower on Microsoft? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, we've been looking at sells on this from like up here, so it is what it is. But again, a lot of the long-term opinions that I've had are still valid, right? Apple down to 190, still valid for me. Again, Tesla, been looking for Tesla down to 210. I mean, we're down to 338. Been talking about this since it's been up at 457. So it's already down 25%. For me to look for another 25% is not really an issue. And again, Tesla's like one of my bigger holdings. Like, I don't like to say that we're gonna go down to, you know, 210. But nonetheless, it's I don't see any world in which we don't. Just my honest truth. Alright, let's see what's going on with NQ. NQ still sitting around. This is a boring day, fam. We might wrap this day in a bag and throw it away. Yeah, gold still we want up by 4,835 would be nice. I don't really have any other updates for you guys, unless there's like stocks or specific levels you guys want to look at. But again, for me, I'm looking still for. I still would like NQ to give me 25 on 60. Maybe it's just we got the wrong day. That's fine. Again, ES a little higher would be nice as well. Kind of that 68.30 area. Chat quiet. I think we wrapping up our day here. Quick headline check real quick. Get a new headline from Israel here. They're expanding their defense line against Lebanon. Israel says that they will continue their attacks, so that's not great. Yeah, Iran says if the attacks do not stop, there'll be no negotiation. That was before that Israel just said the attacks will continue. So yeah, it looks like, I don't know, Trump is failing here as far as I'm concerned to get this under control. Oil responding to all of this. Higher. Waiting on NQ, to be honest. Yeah, I hear you on that. Any opinion about that news from earlier? What news? Specify, please. What news is that? Talking about data. Did we get data earlier? We also have CPI on deck tomorrow, so oh, GDP. Oh yeah, the GDP came out atrocious, didn't it? Yeah, I don't. Honestly, I'll be real with you. I don't really care for GDP too much. I basically threw GDP out of my like news events way back at like when we were going through COVID. Like, was it 2021? 2021, 2022, whenever it was where they changed the rule for the definition of us being in a recession, they're like, oh, no, that's when we no longer use that to determine whether or not we're in a recession. It was at that moment where I was like, well, then GDP means bullshit to me. So, yeah, I don't really have any opinion on this. I don't care if the economy's growing, not growing. Here's the thing, too, is like, if you look at stocks as well, right? Sometimes like growth is not a great indication of whether something is going to become more valuable or less valuable. I have owned like Tesla, for example. And this is maybe a bad example between a country and a company, but so be it, right? I owned Tesla before they were profitable. It was never about that, right? It's never about whether a company has a good quarter or a bad quarter. It's about a bigger picture than that. So I don't really care about this in the grand scheme of things. Again, if Powell says something about it, you know, and they begin to watch it a little closer, maybe. But I'll be honest with you guys. For me personally, GDP does nothing for my macro bias. I could care less. about that. Inflation is going to be interesting tomorrow. I mean, we have core month over month expected to increase a little bit. What the fuck is this? Standard expected to rise to 3.3? That can't be right. Is that right? That's not right. That can't be right. We're really forecasting? That can't be right. I mean, I know oil has went crazy, but not that crazy. We're really expecting that. This is today. It's tomorrow. Yeah, 3.4. Wow. I mean, that's gonna be interesting. I mean, this is mostly because of oil. That's why you're not seeing it in core. I mean, gas is up what? Gas is up like... It's like 380 where I am. It's up from like 3. So that's almost 33%. If you factor in California and some of the other parts of the country where it probably is up more than that. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. This is a crazy spike though. Almost 1% I think is a little too much. Again though, this is just oil, so... Again, it depends on how you view this. This is like short-term inflationary spike. Oil is also down. We're already on CL. Oil is already okay. Oil is already down 15% from its recent high. Like factoring in this, 45%. Yeah, we'll see how that comes out. I think we'll miss this. I think this is an over forecast. We probably undoubtedly come out higher on this. I'm gonna say we come out at like 2.8, maybe 2.9. I'd be surprised if we come out above 3. I wasn't aware that the forecasts were that crazy. I definitely understand it though. Yeah, the data PCE jobs. We didn't have any jobs numbers, did we? We had FOMC minutes yesterday. Jobless claims were 209. Initial jobless. Yeah, these are standard PCE. Yeah, I think tomorrow will be interesting. I don't think we come out this high tomorrow though. I'd be surprised, man, if we get 3.3. I'll give them anywhere between 2.9 and 3.1. If this comes out at 3.3 or 3.4, I'm gonna be pretty shocked. Again, this is short term though. You don't really see it reflected too greatly in the core. Again, the core up at 2.7 because, yeah, you know, shipping costs. A couple of things probably are going to rise in the inflation report. We'll take a look at what that is specifically. My guess would be that it's probably transport and maybe some, like, housing if we do increase to 2.7. But I don't know. We'll address all that stuff tomorrow. We'll take a look at that in chat. I don't know if I'll be on stream for it, but I definitely will address the result. As far as NQ and ES goes, if you took ES, ES is still kind of hanging around, doing its thing by the entry. So, we'll see if this stuff wants to fall over. I'm not partaking in anything at these levels. That being said, your boy Skag, and I'm tuning out. Enjoy your guys' day. Again, I'm flat on the day personally. Peace.
I'm tired of hearing excuses. Your word don't mean nothing is useless. We got to work. if you think you know just what I need, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. I've got everything that I could need. The pages that I write is the story of my life. We got to work it out. I'm tired of hearing excuses. Your word don't mean nothing, it's useless. We got to work it out. And I think that it's about time that I read the signs. We got to work it out. I'm tired of hearing excuses.